Alright guys, welcome to episode 98 of In the Shop CUSTOMLOWZ. Today we're going to be working on this underseat enclosure right here. It's for two Sundown Audio X10s. If you did watch our live series last night, or if you watched the episode 97, the live version, I was doing the fiberglass cap that goes over the hump of the motor. You could watch that again to kind of see what we did in that process. So far we have some bodywork, bedliner, staining, a whole bunch of good stuff left on this thing. So we're going to get into this, start working on this thing. I'm going to take you through all the different steps that I'm doing, and hopefully you guys can learn a thing or two. So here's the enclosure up close and personal. Like I said, it's for two Sundown Audio X10s. We got the basket in there. I'm using the fab up with the wooden motor blank that I made up so we can get the hump, which is the shape we need to fit that fit the sub in there. As you can see, it kind of exceeds the line of the top. So with this and other large woofers, you're going to have to do this for the 10s. Really almost any 10, because of the fact that the back height is not that large. So doing some modifications here. We already got this one worked out pretty well. If you guys seen the live or episode 97 the other day, you seen me working on this thing right here. This is probably roughly 30 ounces of fiberglass resin and I don't know, 8 or 10 layers of fiberglass mat. Definitely nice and strong, not going to break or crack or flex. So now we're going to be throwing some Bondo on this thing just like we have done here. Definitely a lot of sanding to go before I get to that stage. You want to get up all these little high spots and bumps and stuff before we start throwing Bondo on there, just to kind of limit the amount of body filler we're putting on there. But we're going to get into it, start sanding up this thing, and let's get to the next step. Alright, so here I started sanding this thing. You can see there is lots of high spots, low spots. Overall, just pretty bumpy. So we're going to go throw some Bondo on there, and we'll bring you guys back in after we got that on there. First layer of Bondo is down. While it's still tacky and still has a little bit of give, you can see the fingernail pressing into it. I'm going to go ahead and hit it with the cheese grater, take down a lot of those aggressive high spots, save me a lot of time in sanding. You can also sand in this stage too, but I find it easier to use the cheese grater, plus also helps me kind of shape it a little bit. On the flat surfaces, something that is completely flat, I would use my longer one, which is like a standard drywall cheese grater that you use for like the edges of the drywall just to get the seams good. But works great in Bondo, and really I've loved using this since I kind of figured out this trick. I'm going to try to film this for you guys. If you see it, it turned out halfway decent, but basically what I'm doing is going over the whole surface, and it's going to kind of make those sort of chippings. But you're going through the whole surface trying to make it flat, taking out the super high spots, trying to keep it as flat as possible, although this cheese grater does have a slight curve on it, and it's going to really help you get in all those areas, but take off a lot of material in your high areas and kind of help you get it flatter a lot quicker. So like over in this area, I'm going to kind of back and forth cross stitch it while I'm working it, and that'll just kind of help keep it a little bit flatter for me. And we got the little valley in here, going to kind of just follow it along. But you definitely got to particularly watch out for the angles that you're hitting this stuff at, because it will greatly change the shape you get in the end. Alright, so as you may see, there's two different types of Bondo in there. They're really not two different types. I purely just used two different colors of hardener. I had a bunch of blue, kind of ran out of that, so I finished it off with the red, but got them both sanded up. They're as flat as they're going to be for humps. So we're going to move on to the next step, which is going to be, I guess, getting this thing bedlinered, really. After that, we're going to stain these trim pieces that we got going in the fronts here, stain those up, and clear coat them. Even as I'm making this video, I kind of just got this idea about having the insert stick on with neo magnets. I was just going to make them tight, but also I was going to probably fasten them with screws or something like that, but I have some neo magnets here. I think we're going to go ahead and use those if I can find them in the drawer. Alright, we got a box of them right here, so that should be plenty. So basically what we're going to do is get the get a Forstner bit. I ordered a special Forstner bit a while back that is the exact same size as these magnets. We're going to drill some holes into the pieces and get some neo magnets put in the enclosure and also in the trim pieces itself. Alright, so originally I had made these templates out of some Baltic birch. That was just basically to kind of get the size so I could make this whole thing in general. I went ahead and copied those and used some red oak ply, which looks really good, honestly. Red oak ply is going to look really good with the stain. We're going to do Kona stain, which is a brownish stain. So we got the pieces in here. This is obviously just the template. Now, I did gap it through the whole thing, and that's just to give space for the bedliner. The bedliner actually does build up quite a bit, so if I were to make this really tight, it wouldn't have fit afterwards with the bedliner in there. It's kind of hard to you know, guess the thickness of it, so I went ahead and gapped it just kind of like I would do with vinyl. But once we get the bedliner on there, that gap should really close up. Might be close, but I think it'll still even look good just being gapped around the whole perimeter. So now we're going to take our template pieces. I'm going to start figuring out where I want to put the magnets in there. Normally the process I do to figure out my magnets and make sure they're exactly on top of each other when I go to put my piece down is I'll kind of get this in place, secure this down with a piece of tape, and then I'll drill through with an 1/8 inch drill bit exactly where I want my magnets through this piece completely and into this piece. That way I can take my Forstner bit, and with the 1/8 inch drill bit, it's not too big where your Forstner bit won't take center. So you can then take your Forstner bit and start drilling some holes inside the box. Next piece here, same thing. Gonna drill through. Now I'm gonna use the templates, drill through these because I don't want to drill through the face of my stained finish piece. So we're gonna get these drilled out now. Start figuring out where I want to put them. I'm going to put a lot of them only because this is a box and you're going to have some vibration. Just with the base alone in the vehicle, you should have a lot of flexing going on. So start figuring out where I'm going to put these neo magnets in, and I'll bring you guys back in on the next step. So I got all the magnets inside the enclosure now. Next step I'm going to have to do is put them into my main pieces. Basically my idea for that is use my template, stack my piece on top of it, and then drill through the back side of my template into my final piece. Obviously not going all the way through, but just enough so I can get a pilot hole to do the Forstner bit.
Well, yeah. somebody online said, "You got to do this video, you got to make it do it." And someone started pulling up for that. I'm like, okay. Yeah. There you go. And so then I said,
Alright, so I got my inserts in there. The magnets are holding like super strong, as you can see. Like the small pieces, they're really actually hard to even get out. Even this big piece, I mean, it is on there pretty good. So I'm happy with that. Next thing we're going to do is start getting this thing ready for bedliner. I got some more body work along here, some nail holes, some fine tuning stuff up here before bedliner, because I think I've said it before if you guys watch my videos, bedliner does not hide everything. You still want to make sure your body work is pretty good. You want to make sure everything is smooth. You're not going to be able to hide like nail holes, even small nail holes, little pin holes and stuff like that. None of that stuff is really going to be hidden when you're actually getting to the bedliner stage. So we're leaving it off here for now. Got the inserts in there, happy with those. Those are going to get stained next. Get the body work finished up on the box, then we can spray that with bedliner, get those pieces stained and cleared, and get this thing out of here. But it's turning out good. Again, let me know what you guys think in the comments below of how this enclosure is coming. These magnets are really awesome. If you want to go buy them, I got them off Amazon. They're just Neo magnets. I believe these are, actually I'll just tell you the exact size. I already ripped the size off. I believe they're 12 millimeter. But either way, guys, I'm getting out of here for the night. We're going to bring it back tomorrow with some body work, bedliner, stain, and clear coat. Alright guys, so we're back on this thing. Like I said, there's some body work left to do on this thing. I got some Bondo, some wood filler. We got our inserts in last night. The magnets are working really well. Super happy with how that turned out. Just looking at it now, I think it's going to look really awesome with the black bedliner, the Kona stain, which is like a brown stain with the really heavy gloss finish on it. It's going to look really, really sweet. So let's continue working on this thing, get the body work done, and then we'll take you guys back into the next step. Alright, so I really couldn't resist after doing the bedliner to put these trim pieces in, even if they're not clear coated yet. But man, I mean, that is definitely a good looking box already. So we're gonna get these things clear coated now. That's about really kind of the last step. Put the box terminal in this thing, and it's about ready to go. So the clear coat will definitely take us a couple days, just because there's a couple layers you got to put on there. but thankfully, because they are small pieces that I can lay perfectly flat, I feel I can get some good buildup without doing too many coats. On, you know, coat 1, I could probably get some pretty good buildup on the piece because it is flat. So definitely happy with how this thing is looking. Came out really good. Alright, so I got these pieces all sprayed up. Now, as you can see in the lighting, there's definitely some pinholes. That just comes from all the particulate I have floating in my shop. I have a pretty small shop, and trying to cut, sand, bodywork, fiberglass, and spray clear coat all in the same shop doesn't really work that good. So I do always have to kind of deal with that on the first couple coats. Really I'm trying to build up the clear coat pretty thick, so it's going to get sanded out, and by the time you're all done, you're never going to notice any of that. But here it is all cleared. Now really it's kind of a waiting game. We're going to have to wait a day to do anything with this. It's got to dry up, then we got to sand it, and then we're going to have to coat it again. So the box is just sitting right now, and we'll be back when these pieces are dry and ready for sanding. Alright guys, so this definitely isn't one of those situations where I regret being wrong, but I know I mentioned I might have to do multiple coats on these trim pieces, but I'm going to say that they're pretty good already. I mean, I don't know how much better I'd really get. With the red oak, you have a very deep grain on it, so there is still there still is areas where it is a little bit sunken in, and that is just on the darker grain that you're going to see. With red oak, that is, I mean, you're going to have to do a tremendous amount of buildup to try to get to that amount of clear coat. So we're calling it good there. I am super happy with how this turned out on the first coat. Super glossy. All those little things I thought were in it, I guess they're just gone because it looks really good. So we're going to get these pieces in the box and see how this thing looks. We can get this thing finished up, get this thing out of here. So I'm excited. I'm glad these are done. I already put them in before staining, before clearing, because I honestly couldn't wait. So let's get these pieces in here, and let's get this enclosure out of here. Woo! These pieces look so good in there. I knew they were going to look good based on seeing them without the clear coat, but the way the clear coat pops on the bedliner, I am super happy with this thing. So here it is. Just guess we'll do a little montage of just the pieces in it. Of course, the enclosure is not fully finished yet. We still got one trim roll to put in, but it's worth it. Alright guys, so finally this enclosure is all finished up. I'm excited about how it turned out. The stained trim inserts, they look really good. Stained, glossy. The black bedliner looks really good. Well, it just contrasts amazingly. So here it is. Let's give you guys a closer look at this thing. I'm super happy with how it came out, so hopefully you guys like it too. Alright guys, so like I said, this is for two Sundown Audio X10s. It's going in a 2014 Chevy GMC Crew Cab. This thing is definitely looking really, really good. We got the triple baffle on there with a slight flush mount. The window bracing on the inside, which is going to brace up the top, bottom, back, and the baffle. Hold the port in there as well. We got two 4-inch ports on here. This thing is definitely going to bang. I've done a couple different versions of this with the same style ports. Basically the same cubic area and same port setup, just different finish styles. But it has had great results, so I'm super excited for the customer to get this in his truck and start banging. Black bedliner looks really good. We got the top humps for the motors to fit in there. You guys kind of went through the process with me on that. Got the SMD terminal on the back there. Like I said, we got the ports right here with the flares there. The bedliner definitely looks really, really good with this, with these glossy trim panels. These are held on with the Neo magnets. Also, you guys seen that process as we went through. Again, I don't think we're going to have any issues when it comes to rattling or them falling off just from the base. The box is built super strong. It's 2 layers underneath that, so I'm not really expecting any flex as far as that goes. And really, they're very hard to get off. There's I think 6 Neo magnets behind just the small ones, and then there's probably 12 behind this big one. And I'll say just trying to pry it off with your hands is definitely a hard task, so I'm not too worried about it. I think it's going to work great. Worst case scenario, stick a little bit of silicone behind there and you'll be good forever. So definitely happy with how this thing turned out. I like this insert style. I think I might do some more boxes like this just because really the possibilities of changing these inserts out. And I think that might be something cool to do for you guys too, like have the boxes basically like this, and you can kind of interchange the inserts, different colors, different materials, maybe even do some plexiglass inserts with some LEDs in there. Shouldn't be too hard on something like this, but this thing definitely turned out awesome and I'm very happy with it. Let me know in the comments below, guys, what you guys think of this enclosure, because I think it just turned out phenomenally. So as far as specs go on this enclosure, we're around 2.7 cubic feet total. That's after all displacement, including port, bracing, and the woofers, which plenty of space for two Sundown Audio X10s. The Sundown Audio X10s, I'd say they like around 1.25 to 1.5 cubic feet, so we're a little bit on the small side if you're trying to shoot for 1.5 cubic feet, but 1.2, we're definitely on the big side. So I think 2.7, we got around 1.35 cubic feet per woofer, so definitely a happy medium in there. It's a shared chamber, so you get away with running slightly smaller in different variations. We got the 4-inch ports on there, which ends up giving us a tuning of 33 hertz. Definitely something that these X's are going to like. This enclosure definitely going to turn out awesome. I'm super happy with how it looks. Like I said, the stained inserts, super sweet. They're definitely not going to be rattling, not coming off. Keep going. I got a lot of like I guess backlash about that. Like, I want to say it's like my most liked / hated video, because really people were like, what's the point, why, like, it's gonna rattle, it's gonna shake. Got a lot of opinions before it was even finished, so I guess that's kind of why I'm like reiterating over and over and over again, like, I don't think it's gonna have any issues. But either way, guys, this enclosure turned out awesome. If you guys want to get something like this, you can go on my website. I got links in the description below for everything like that. This is for a 2014 Chevy crew cab. You do need a 2.5-inch seat lift for something like this. If you want to get a seat lift, go check out LMI Welding. I get all my seat lifts. I recommend all my customers to get seat lifts from there. Something like this on my website. Now, again, this is a little tricky because this is something in my custom orders, which, like I've mentioned in other videos, I'm not doing super custom stuff anymore. Now, with the underseat enclosures, you're going to be able to change everything from outside finish, inside finish, add windows, add LEDs. And as far as finishes go, there's a ton of different options for inside and outside. So when I say I'm not doing custom stuff, it's really kind of maybe far from the truth, but I'm going for something more in a range of a standard enclosure that has tweaks to that design. That's going to give you guys a much quicker turnaround time and a much better result in the end, as far as really just how quickly you get it. That's kind of the only thing that's really gonna be improved by doing that. But that's like my biggest complaint, so I'm gonna fix that for you guys. But this right here is gonna be something of a custom nature. Now, I am so happy with this, I may offer something like this in the future, as far as doing the different inserts and changing them out. But I'm going to have to do some designs of the different variations of subs, you know, 2 6s all the way up to 4 8s to 6 6s, 2 10s, 1 10. There's a whole bunch of different variations and styles you can go with this. So you guys might see something like this in the future, where you can order an enclosure like this and then order custom insert colors and change up this stuff. But as far as outside finishes go, there's a ton of possibilities. We'll even do custom matched paint to your vehicle. There are some limitations because some vehicles have like a 3-step paint job, and you're not going to be able to get that color in a bedliner. But we can do different colors: white, black, silver, purple, pink, whatever you want to do. It's tintable bedliner, so you guys can go crazy with that. On the inside finish, the same thing as well. We can even do vehicle match paint on that, but again, you're going to kind of be limited because of the fact that some vehicle paints are a 3-step paint job, and you're not going to get that in the bedliner. Plexiglass windows, you can go from 1 to 9, so there's a ton of different options there. You can choose your placements. You can go with the front window, side windows, top windows, and I'm always going to do a custom design in the windows. I'm going to try to make sure that's still custom. But as far as doing stuff like this, again, going to be slightly limited. But anyway, guys, I'm getting out of here. Thank you so much for watching this video. This has been one of the longer videos. I'm going to assume by the time I'm done editing this, I showed you guys kind of the steps all through the fiberglass work. We did the live videos. This thing has a lot of coverage. I'm super happy with how it turned out. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you've watched this far, make sure you comment below 1728. It's kind of our secret little thing for you guys who are actually watching these videos all the way through. And if you are one of those people, I greatly appreciate you. According to my stats, not a lot of people watch to the end of the video. So for those of you who do, thank you. And again, if you're not subscribed, make sure you do so now. Comment below. Let me know what you guys think of this enclosure. And I'll see you guys again on another episode of In the Shop with Custom Lows.